Welcome back. This is the gameplay example video. I'm gonna go through one tile only with the Acolyte and the Brigand, just to try and give you a better feeling for the game and demonstrate some of the rules I've been talking about. Also, I've realized that I left out some elements of the rules in my previous videos, so I'll include them in this one as we go along. So I'm gonna do a free quest here, so this is not part of a story or even an act, so I won't be drawing any act quest. I've decided to play my first tile to play a 12 by 12, and so the first thing I have to do is populate the tile. So as you can see here, the heroes are already on one edge of the tile, so I've decided to make them come out of a castle or something. And now I have to follow the legend of the tile. So the first thing I have to do is draw a chapter quest. So the quest I drew is Rescue My Daughter. I won't read the flavor, I'll leave that to you when you do it the first time. So the setup instruction on Rescue My Daughter tells me to place one crawler layer on the tile. So I'm gonna do this right now, and I've decided to place it right in front of the hero, so very close by. And then I have to place the Lucy token next to the layer under a web token. So I'm gonna put her on the far side here and place a web token on her. And then it tells me that the heroes have 5 hero cycle to rescue Lucy. So I'm gonna use a D10 as a hero cycle counter. I'm gonna leave it on the card, and at the end of every hero cycle I'm gonna reduce the counter, or I should say during the refresh phase I'm gonna lower the D10 here in the quest part of the quest results step of the refresh phase. So the quest is all set. Next thing I have to do on the tile setup is set up the layers. I've already put up one. I won't be playing a 2-layer tile right now. I don't think my odds are very good with only starting gear and 2 heroes, so I'll leave it with 1 layer. Remember, the 2 on the tile population tells me I can have up to 2 layers. I really only need 1, so I'm gonna play with 1 for now. As I set up the crawlers layer, I have to right away put a base spawn or starting monsters around the layer. For 2 heroes, that's 7 crawlers. So I'm gonna put 7 crawlers right now around the layer. And before I do so, I'm just gonna show you real quick the 2 types of minis you got for crawlers. I know some folks are having a bit of a problem realizing which one are melee and which one are ranged. So I guess I figured I would show you. This one here on the left is the melee guy. He's got the longer arms. And the one on the right here is the ranged guy with the short arms and the sacks on the side of his head. So I get to decide how much of each I put up. I only have to put 7 crawlers. Usually I try to, as much as possible, respect the normal spawn ratio. So in this case it's half and half. So for 7 I'm gonna put 4 ranged guys and 3 melee guys. I just said the opposite. I'm gonna put up 4 melee guys and 3 ranged guys. The following icon on the tile setup is the hunting pack icon. I don't have to put up one because it's a question mark, but I decided I would put one. So I'm gonna put a pack of grubbers. I get to choose anywhere between 3 and 8. I've decided to put up 6, and I will place them on the far side of the purple lines, or the spawning lines. So there you go, and then I have to put 6 treasure markers on the darkness board so that I can pop up to 6 treasures during the tile. Alright, so we're all set to start. So I've already shuffled my decks, my hero decks, and the only thing I want to show you real quick is the monsters that are on the tile. I think it's always good to have a look at the monster cards for the monsters on the tile before you start playing. So the crawlers, I will need 4 or more to hit them. They have 4 movement, 1 hit point. I don't think I have any card to make them do courage checks, so it doesn't really matter. Their attack is a single d10, but if they hit, they get to roll a fate dice. And if the fate dice is rolls a darkness symbol, then I'm gonna get poisoned. So I have the 2 best heroes to cure poisons right now, so it's not that bad, but still, I'll try to avoid that as much as possible. Their attack is 1 target attack, and they need 7 or more to hit. The melee guys, of course, have a range of 1, and the ranged guys have a range of 3. They all do 1 damage per hit, and their priority will be proximity and then threat. If both heroes are still are at the same distance and have the same threat, then they'll go for the Brigand because he's guile. In the grubbers, I will need 5 or more to hit them. They also have only 1 hit point. They have a movement of 3. Their attack is a 1d10 for 1 damage, so 1 attack on 1 target, range of 1. They don't have any ranged guys. They do 1 damage per hit. They need 7 or more also to hit. They don't have a fate dice recipe, so they won't ever roll fate dice. Their special ability is strength in numbers. So again, this is to do with the courage tests, and I don't think they will be making any courage tests, so their special ability probably won't come in for the game. Their priority is threat, then proximity. Then rage, the soldier isn't on the tile, so rage will be ignored in this case. So I have to make sure I manage my threat, or I may get, or some of the heroes will receive a lot of grubber attention. Alright, so we're ready for the first hero cycle. So I'm drawing up 5 cards right now for both heroes. So let's have a quick look. The first thing I'm gonna do with the Acolyte is use Blessings of the Dawn. This adds 1 fate to my, I'm gonna call it my fate pool. Adds 1 fate dice for attack actions per fate. So right now I add 2 fate dice to all attack actions on the tile, but only actions, remember, so this is important. And I'm also gonna play Feet of the Saints, so again adding 1 more faith, and this reduces AP usage of all heroes attack actions by -1 AP. So I may get a free round here. What I mean by free round is I may be able not to generate any AP. For now, I'll let the Brigand play a little. The Brigand will move up 1 space here. He's gonna get in close combat, and he's gonna do Dirty Tactics. So, Dirty Tactics. He's moved 1, so I won't move anymore after that, so it's going to be a cautious attack, cautious movement attack. So he will get +1 d10 for his roll. Dirty Tactics does 1 damage with the weapon. It's 1 attack on 1 target. In this case, I'm going to hit the grubber here. So I have to create my dice pool. I get 1 d10, 1 fate dice for my hero, plus 1 d10 for my sharpened butter knife, plus 1 d10 on Dirty Tactics because I move cautiously. So 3 d10s and 1 fate dice. And then Blessings of the Dawn adds 1 fate dice per fate for attack actions. This is an attack action, so the Acolyte currently has 3 fate, so I had 3 fate dice. And I need a 4 or more to hit. So I got it, no problem here. So this guy's dead. I remove it and add 1 threat to the Brigand, because I just done 1 point of damage. Now, my sharpened butter knife has a recipe with the guile symbol that allows me to reduce my threat by 1 if I roll a guile symbol. I didn't, so I don't get to use it. Now, I would need to score the AP for Dirty Tactics. That's 1 AP, but because of Feet of the Saints, all attack actions are -1 AP. So Dirty Tactics basically is considered 0 AP, so I don't have to do anything with that. And then the Brigand will use Shadow Slip as a reaction to get into shadows and prepare for more attacks next cycle. So that's 0 AP. And I'm just going to put up the Shadows token here, just so I remember he's in Shadows. And I'm going to go back to the Acolyte. The Acolyte will use Last Rites right away. So targets are hit with Holy Power. Range extends out in a cross, 1 square per fate. So what I'm going to do, I have 3 fate right now. So what I'm going to do is target this guy here, and then have the cross start on this adjacent space and go in a cross pattern for a total of 3 additional spaces. So basically I'm hitting those 3 grubbers plus the lair. So remember, when I target different target numbers, because the grubbers have a target number of 4, the lair a target number of 3, I need to spend 1 die from my dice pool on each target number I want to hit after the roll. So first thing, I need to check if I have line of sight. Of course I have line of sight. The range, Last Right has a range of 4. He's at 2 range, so no problem. And then create my dice pool. So 1d10, 1 fate dice for my hero. This is a spell, so I'm going to use my Worn Prayer Book plus 1d10. And then I haven't moved and I won't move in this cycle, so I'm going to grab 2 additional d10s from Last Rites for the no movement bonus. And Blessings of the Dawn will add again 3 fate die to my dice pool. And that's it. So I need 1 4 and 1 3. No problem. I've got a 10 and an 8, so I'm going to use... Well, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to use the 10 on the grubbers and the 8 on the lair. So I'm going to score the damage on the lair on the darkness board. So the first row here will be the lair. And I kill those 3 minions. And since he's the third minion to die on this attack, because I hit there, then here, the lair, and back here. So this is where I'm going to place the treasure marker. So treasure pops right here because I've killed 3 minions in a single attack. And Last Rites, first I have to score my threat. So I did 4 points of damage total, 3 on the minions and 1 on the lair. So I gained 4 threat. And then I need to score my AP. So Last Rites is 2 AP, but again, because of Feet of the Saints, I reduced that to 1 AP. So I'm gonna only score 1 AP. I did want to include a note here on the area of effects cards or attacks, such as Last Rites. In this case, I targeted here and hit those 3 additional spaces. If, let's say, the Brigand had been in the pattern or in the way or in the area affected by the card, he would have also gotten hit by the spell. When heroes are within the area of effect, you don't need to apply a die to them, they automatically get hit. So the reason, or the thematical reason for that, is that they're not really paying attention to the other heroes, and they're not prepared to get hit in the back, so that's why they get hit automatically. So try to avoid that as much as possible. In this case, he wasn't in the area of effect, so no problem. So I've scored my AP, I've scored my threat, and for now, I'm gonna end the hero cycle right here. And there's not much else I can do right now. So so we're gonna start the first deck phase here. The Acolyte has one empty action slot or card slot, so he's gonna reduce his threat by 1 and remove all cards played on the board. And then he's gonna keep Armor of Faith because I guess I may trigger the Darkness cycle in the next hero phase, so I'm gonna keep it. It's a very good defensive card. And I'm gonna fill his hand back up to 5. And then the Brigand has 2 empty slots, so he's gonna reduce his threat by 2, but he's only at 1, so he's going back to 0. I'm gonna remove Dirty Tactics, but Shadow Slip is an ongoing, so it's gonna stay in the action spaces or action slots. And I'm gonna keep Shadow's Reach because that's one of the best, if not the best card to combo off of Shadows. And I'm gonna fill his hand back to 5. Alright. So that was the first hero cycle in the first deck phase. Now in the refresh phase, first thing I have to do is check threat range. Remember, because I've attacked the crawlers, I don't need to check their threat range. They're already active because I've hit them, but I have to check it for the grubbers. The grubbers have a threat range of 4, and so I'm gonna have to check on both heroes one by one. In this case, at least that's my understanding, because I'm not sure I've seen it written anywhere, but since the Brigand is in Shadows, I wouldn't check the threat range for the Brigand, so I'm going to check it for the Acolyte only. But even if he wasn't in Shadows, I mean, he's got a threat of 0, so it wouldn't activate the grubbers. The Acolyte has a threat of 3, so if there is less, or I should say if there are 7 or less spaces between the closest grubber and the Acolyte, the grubbers will activate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm very lucky. The Acolyte is at distance 8, so the grubbers don't activate right now. So in the refresh phase, darkness meter step, I only add 1 AP for the crawlers. Then I will reduce the quest timer by 1, so I only have 4 hero cycle left to save Lucy. And then, so basically after the first whole turn of the game, the AP track is at only 2, so that's very good. The Acolyte has a threat of 3, and the Brigand a threat of 0.